Hi, I wanted to give a quick update on how Ambassador's doing. So, for you, those of you that are not familiar with Ambassador whatsoever, it is a library that I have worked on and coded over the last 3 years. So, I've spent quite a deal of time on it. I've got quite a lot of pretty much everything. I have created thousands of technical charts, maybe not 1,000, but maybe close to 10 or 20 technical charts like this one, outlining the different parts of this system. I'm calling it a web operating system because there are enough parts moving that it's pretty complete. You don't really need to use any other system, and the only thing that would prevent me from completely creating some kind of operating system kernel is just time constraints. I just don't feel like putting that much effort in, and I don't really have to. But yes, it would be nice to bootstrap some kind of web rendering engine at some point. So what is this system? So I've got open the JavaScript panel that you could have in any web browser, and you can do pretty much all the stuff that you're used to doing on the internet, and the goal is to have you be able to include that into your page or your application pretty easily. So I deliberately designed the syntax to be incredibly easy, and here I'm going to include a Google Maps on my page. So you see it just sort of spit out a few different lines where it's calling the network, it's grabbing some resource files, yada yada. So this is a panel right here. And what I've been working on recently is the ability to take a panel that you've developed and to be able to edit it in real time. So this is a product offering that actually exists only in other products like Meteor.js. And so if I go ahead and hit the Q key there, you can see my maps panel will come up. It shows me my code editor here. Something I worked on in the last week is maximizing this code editor so you can kind of work on it in a little bit of a lengthier screen. This code editor I'm using is called CodeMirror. It's actually in production for a lot of big companies, and it's pretty good, but it's not at the point that I really want to rely on it alone. So I've created this editor integration where I can open up the file in Sublime Text. So that's kind of cool. So what we just did there was we opened up the maps file, and I'm going to cut this video short. My disk space is running low. Yeah, I see that. Okay, my disk space is looking a little better now. So this is kind of cool. The experience we just outlined was being able to literally take your web page or your web application as you're editing it, and just through a point-and-click interface, you can open it directly in your code editor. So this is kind of amazing because it's like no longer you have to locate in your code where a particular piece of interface is supported. This is actually huge. It's huge for this system as well, because I would spend a lot of time simply navigating the file system to figure out where something was coded, and it's kind of painful. So this is the kind of shift that I've wanted to make for a long time, from using a command line to using more of a user interface based development process. So that's been done recently, and I'm glad to have been able to share that. The other thing that I was able to code just recently, and pretty easy, so this is an example of where when you sort of see the description that I've posted for Ambassador, it seems pretty complex and it seems kind of unbelievable. But when you build the base tools and you start integrating them into the application layer, a lot of different stuff becomes possible. And it's pretty awesome because it's kind of surprising for what people expect or are willing to believe. So here I've just sort of switched over to the the panel that should house the basic settings, and you can see it just has a form right now. I'm gonna make that a little bit more robust, but so if we go and we look at the code for it, and for some reason it didn't load up that code. Let's see if it opens up in our Sublime editor. It's kind of funky. I'm not sure what happened there. Come on, thing. So, right now we've encountered some kind of bug. So, oh, I know what happened. So, for some reason, Nginx has been crashing. Not Nginx itself, but the PHP process manager. So, it's like FastCGI has been crashing. What it needs is a process manager that sort of monitors to see if it does crash, and then it kind of just updates it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up that same basic settings panel. It's going to open up the code for it. And we see that it has just this one input field that we had recognized before. So I'm going to go ahead, just because I don't feel like navigating even in Sublime Text, I'm just going to open it up there. I'm going to, now let's just add a second field. And then I'm going to hit refresh the panel. So check that out. It didn't refresh the code editor, but it did refresh the panel here. And if we went back to the code editor, it would be there now. So this is like kind of amazing, because this is like to the point that you don't even have to refresh your browser now as you're developing. So you can kind of see that the user experience is not amazing at this point, but the functionality is there. And it's really this idea of bringing this entire system from something as basic and as ground up as just command line tools and a set of code functions to an actual operable and interactive interface. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed a little bit of a peek at that. I hope it was kind of straightforward to understand. I'm definitely going to keep posting updates as I progress with some of this. And this is the kind of thing that I hope to do regularly enough to give you a glimpse into the different parts of the system. I'm going to go deal with this guy port scanning my computer on a hotel network right now.